Thanks for peeking in on me. It's really nice to talk to you. Wouldn't it be nice when there's something else to talk about? Something wonderful and fine? Something other than the lunatic next door? He's on the whole world's plate. That's going to be his legacy. Everybody's going to talk about him forever, and it won't be kind. Okay. So I talked about the Gripen the other day and the F-35 jets, but I dug a little bit more into it, and it goes all the way back to 1959 with the Avro Arrow until today. I had no idea that it was sort of tied together, but it is in the most horrible way. Okay, so Canada ordered 88 F-15 Lightning jet fighters from Lunatic Next Door and his group. Billions and billions of dollars worth. So far, we don't really know for sure, but about 28 billion has headed south for these jets. And we're expecting 16 of them. And 4 of them are coming sometime this year. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so this means jobs for our neighbors next door. This means that 28 billion went into the pocket next door to do whatever he feels like doing with, because that's what he does. And of course, Lockheed Martin are the ones building these jets. And that's it. Uh, Lunatic Next Door doesn't need anything from Canada, remember, except for billions of dollars and cooperation. Obedience. Okay. We need to have a serious discussion. All of us. All of Canada needs to discuss this. You should be discussing this at the kitchen table, on Sunday dinners, at the, I don't know, soccer game moms, and on the radio. Listen to the radio. We should all be talking about it. Text your friends about it. Have everybody look into this. This is some serious stuff. Okay, we have 44-year-old jets, which I mentioned before. They are American jets. Half of them are grounded right now because of mechanical faulty issues. They can't get parts. You can't get parts for 44-year-old airplanes. You just can't. It's simple. You can't get parts for a 66 Sprite either right now. So you just can't get parts. So we ordered 88 of these, the best fighter planes on the planet. State of the art. Yep. Woohoo. We did it. 88. That contract was probably well celebrated. These are, without a doubt, the most capable planes on the planet. And we have been paying for this order every month, I would assume, or annually, something like that. But we're paying for them. So, imagine a foggy remembrance scene. Foggy. Okay. These planes, these F-15 Lightning state-of-the-art planes, were built in the USA with cooperation with Turkey, the country, not the bird. And Turkey invested lots of money and technology and support and manpower in the USA to build these F-15 Lightning fighter jets. Okay. Turkey paid for the fancy schmancy jets up front. And they also helped build them. It was a lovely cooperative deal. But Turkey, being in the area of not a war area, close to not a war area, in the danger zone, let's say, they needed air defense, an air defense system. And they opted for the one that they could, the best one for the buck, the best one, state of the art. They opted for the best one. And it wasn't American. It was Russian. So, lunatic next door went ballistic in July of 2019. Oh, maybe about the time his friend was in jail there. Anyway, he went ballistic on Turkey and he canceled the contract, blocked them, blocked the transfer of the jets that were all ready to go. They were going to deliver them right away. Blocked that, blocked the rest of it, blocked them from being participating in the project any further, blocked them. Now, he hasn't refunded the money either. No, billions of dollars not refunded. And reportedly, these jets are in storage in a hangar somewhere warm. So until Turkey gets rid of the Russian air defense computer system, they can't have their fighter jets that they paid for. Which is, you know what? It might be okay. So we ordered, as I said, 88 of these jets for our own defense. The same defense that the lunatic next door was telling us that we are moochers and we're not living up to our responsibilities for defense in NATO and all that other happy stuff. Yep. So 88 jets worth billions. And here comes the big but. Now, if I had the tech, I'd put a big but right there. I don't have the tech, but I'm getting there. I really am. These F-35 jets are kind of like a subscription. Yeah. You fly the jets, but you can't fly them or do a mission with them unless you download from the USA the information. They'll fly, and they're probably wonderful to fly for a pilot, but you can't do a mission. You have no information. Anyway, if you get, I'm not sure about the tech, but if you don't get from the cloud, their cloud, the information to fly the jets, then they're useless. Okay? Okay, so every time they get in the plane, they have to download this stuff. And Lunatic Next Door and his guys, they have the capability of just not downloading it. You know, like your streaming subscription. If you don't pay, they give you a warning, and if you don't pay, they shut it off. You can have it back when you pay. That's how it works. That doesn't sound very good for a fighter jet. Now, in parentheses, I'd put parentheses here too. The Ukraine took some of these jets, and the lunatic next door was trying to blackmail him into whatever. Give us your oil, give us your resources, whatever it was. Don't know. And, of course, Mr. Vladimir, he said no. So, lunatic next door shut the planes off. So the planes that he had to fight his neighbor are essentially grounded. Nothing they can do. So that's that. So there's a little bit more here. These F-35 jets need a cozy, warm hangar at night. They do. They need to be nice and toasty, or they're not going to go. The F-35 Lightnings are not built for northern climates. No, they are. Last year, January 25? Yeah, I think so. You can look it up. One of these very same planes crashed in Alaska. Pilot's okay, don't worry. Because water got into the hydraulic system and froze, so the landing gear couldn't come down. Yeah. I wonder how water got into the hydraulic system. I'd do a little memory here. And I'd picture a 19-year-old kid who comes from the big city and joined the Air Force or whatever. And he doesn't know jack poop about hydraulics. You don't get water in them, especially when it's minus 40. Oh my God. Anyway, So they need a cozy, warm hangar, and they can be turned off at any time if you don't follow the rules that the lunatic next door wants you to do. Yeah. Anyway, so these planes are also so fancy schmancy that they're stealth, and apparently the radar can't pick them up. They use special coating. They did show it. I saw a little film about it, and special coating and special materials. Radar doesn't work off of it, and that's okay. They're invisible. The Lightning jet was the most capable, up-to-date, state-of-the-art plane in the world, and there is no doubt about that. But until last week, this very last week, one of these invisible jets was flying over Iran, and Iran targeted it and shot it. Pilots okay, had to make an emergency landing, but they targeted it. How? This is an invisible plane. Lunatic next door's fancy invisible plane. Yeah, they used a thermo heat signature device. Thermal imaging. You can buy them on Amazon or Temu for a couple $100. And I'm sure that most search and rescue places have these things so that they can, fly around and look for missing people or whatever. Yeah, it's a thing. Anyway, you can hide from the radar, but you can't hide your heat signature. So these fancy schmancy billion dollars, state-of-the-art, best planes in the world are no longer the end-all and be-all. They're just not. They're just not. And they need a cozy, warm hangar, too. They do. They really do. Give them a little blankie and some hot cocoa. So here we are. We have 88 ordered of these hot cocoa wanting airplanes. And so far, let's see, we've paid about 28 billion for these planes. Now that's up from 19 billion, but it keeps continuing to rise, materials, cost of living, inflation, that kind of stuff, right? So it's going to be more, and it's going to be more yet. Let's see. Oh, but Lunatic Next Door did give us a little pat and give us some contracts in the States to build some planes or help build or in some manner, which, whatever. I'm sure that these contracts that we signed with them so that we did get some work out of it, in my opinion only, okay, I believe that if we dug into the corporations that signed these contracts with the Lunatic Next Door, I bet you in some manner they filter back to the Lunatic Next Door. That's in my opinion. I can't prove it right now, but if I dug for it, I'll bet you Timmy's that for sure that's what's going on. So, the first of these 4 state-of-the-art jets that need a warm, cozy hangar at night, they're due to be delivered this year, so soon. I expect it'll be in July when it's not too cold, so that they will perform the way they're intended to. Yeah. Okay. So, our government has, they know more about this stuff than I do. Like, I'm just reading books and papers and stuff. So, they want to continue with the 88 jets. And if you remember that Pete Hoekstra guy, he said, you better do it, right? They've threatened our sovereignty and our airspace if we don't. And the reason they give is because the Gripen plane, the Swedish plane, can't talk to the F-35 Lightning. And it doesn't, I don't know, communicate well. Anyway, I think that means that the USA has no control over the Gripen software and communications. That's what I think. I think if they can't control it, it's no good, and you better do what we say. Obey. Canada, obey. So Sweden, the Saab place, is planning to build these Gripen jets here in Canada. They're going to build them here, give our Canadians jobs, train them up, and do it. So, that'll also help because these F-35 Lightnings, if something goes wrong and they need a part, they have to wait for a part. They have to order it from Lockheed Martin, and that can take up to 2-3 years. So you have a grounded plane still, again. Anyway, if we build them here, if we need a part, we phone them up and say, hey, this happened. I'll send you a picture of it, and I'll send you the part, and then, I don't know, 10 days, 15 days, part is delivered, installed, plane's back in the air. I think that's a better solution. I don't know. I don't think we need an untrustworthy partner in control of our fighter jets. I don't think so. I don't think we need to be more integrated with the neighbors next door. Do we really need fighter jets that can be turned off, rendered inoperable at the whim of a man who, does these things, has PMS or something? Yeah, I don't think so. So we go back to 1959. Here's where 1959 comes in. And our guys, our Canadian engineers and technicians and electricians, they built the best plane on the planet, the Avro Arrow. And we couldn't have the Americans thinking, oh, our neighbors are smarter and more advanced, and they're more creative, and they're more innovative. We can't have that. So they convinced Prime Minister Diefenbaker, because the captions didn't spell it right, to, scrap the plane. We'll do it. Never mind. We don't need this. You don't need this. And apparently they did. Well, they scrapped the plane. And I'm pretty sure the plans went south because shortly thereafter there was the Delta Dart, and it looked similar. We talked about this. That's just history. Everybody knows that. So, with the fact that these jets can be turned off, they have to be subscribed to Lunatic Next Door's membership club. They can't be run in the winter, very, very cold. Won't start, their hydraulics freeze up, whatever. They'd have to probably be kept running, but they do need a cozy warm hanger every night. Keep things warm and smooth. Can't have that. Can't have it shutting off. And if we do decide to go with the Gripen, Lunatic Next Door is just going to say, screw it. You don't get nothing. So, you can't trust him. So I think personally, in my opinion, that we cancel the deal. We cancel it now. We take the loss, and we go with the Gripen. And we get them over here as soon as possible. Get them built. Put those Ontario workers back to work. Train them up. And we'll have planes. And we'll have parts for the planes. And our planes won't be turned off. And they won't be frozen. We don't need that. I don't think we need that. So that's what we need. We need the Gripens. Some of you are going to say, oh, but they'll sue. Well, let them sue. Luny the Tick next door, you know what he does? He breaks contracts all the time. All the time. And he doesn't care. People sue him. Doesn't care. Doesn't matter. So we can not care, not matter. We'll take the loss. I think it's definitely one to take. I really do. I say get the Gripens, make the jobs happen here. Tell that snake next door to shove it. Just shove it. Anyway, I've been dying to tell you this. This is all, really news to me, and there's so much, and every day there's so much more. So, I'll love you and leave you, and thanks for peeking in on me. And hey, leave one of those hand emoji waves in the comments for me. Have a discussion about this with your family. Have a discussion with your friends over coffee. Go to Timmy's. Talk about this stuff. It's important. We cannot depend on the lunatic next door for anything. It's important. It is. So, anyway, I love you and leave you. Please comment, like, subscribe, whatever. I'm here. I'm talking. I'm doing work. You. Okay, bye-bye.